This is the story of my life. I grew up in two different worlds. My parents are American missionaries to the Senegal people in the small West African country of Burkina Faso. Like a typical MK, I have a fragmented history. A year here, 3 or 4 there. Some moves would be to the house next door, others halfway around the world. You can see how the seemingly simple question of "where are you from?" bothered me so much. I never had an answer. In Africa, I was the only white boy in the entire village. I had African friends and played with them all the time, but it was plain to see that I could never truly fit in. How could this be home? I felt like an alien every time I appeared in public. So what did I do? I stood out on purpose. The unicycle made me feel like I had an excuse to deserve all the attention I was getting. When I really needed to get away from the curious eyes of the village, I spent countless hours entertaining myself in the sanctity of my own room.
It's him, but he's huge!
Because of this.
So if Africa wasn't my true home, then America must have been. I mean, I had an American passport. That's where my extended family lived. They speak English there. I used this logic to reassure myself when I was feeling exceptionally out of place in the village. Back in the States, to my relief, I didn't stick out physically any more than the next guy. But living in America had its own difficulties. I didn't know anything about sports, music, TV, video games, or any of the stuff that kids my age considered vital to their existence. I was painfully uncultured. I carried the knowledge of my ignorance around with me everywhere I went. It felt as obvious as the color of my skin. How did I cope during that time? I kept quiet. I don't think I would have survived if I hadn't had an amazing group of friends. Every time I came back to the States, they were there, ready to accept me the way I was, quirks and all. They take pride even to this day for corrupting me, as they put it, teaching me all the stuff I had missed while I was away. Still, I was always the outsider, the odd one of the group, the guy from Africa. I am often asked another confusing question. How do you deal with culture shock? Evidently, we missionary kids were supposed to have all suffered from this. My answer was always that I didn't understand the question. The two worlds were so distinctly different and separate in my mind. America was America, Africa was Africa. When I moved back and forth, my brain just switched gears. For most of my life, I saw my time spent in Burkina as a curse. It made me different from everyone else. But how many people in America have ever swung on vines in an African jungle, had a monkey as a pet, or had neighbors like these? I wouldn't trade those memories for anything. What is home? Is it a building? Is it a piece of land? I don't think it's as simple as that. God has given me an amazing family and friends all over the globe. I love them, and they love me. When I'm reminded of this, I feel at peace and realize that I'm home already.